All right, we're just here at Book Soup. Just bought How to Win Friends and Influence People. Looks good, right, Ollie?
Yeah, it looks great.
And she got a not a Studio 54 book. She likes to party.
Yeah, I like to party.
I get asked a lot, you know, what's the secret if you're completely broke, if you're trying to do big things? Without a doubt, your ability to have powerful social skills, whether it's networking, whether it's finding mentors, finding investors, it all comes down to a few principles. Always use, by the way, $100 bookmarks. Why? It's not to show off, it's to remind you that if you read this book, there's a lot of value in it, not just financially, but in all ways in life. So we're gonna head back to the office here. Let me see if I can get you in. Brought the Ferrari out. So watch the edge here, don't scrape. So the most powerful things that I've learned when it comes to social skills, you all right, you in there? Oh, I'm gonna try to sneak in here without getting hit. Woo. Sunset Boulevard's a bitch. The number one, hold on guys. There we go, sneak in. All right, so when you're first starting out, it's very easy to get intimidated, right? Why? Well, you'll assume that just because you've never done anything or you're just starting out, that everybody you meet knows that. People don't always know that. So you gotta stay cool under pressure. I don't know what happened to my hair. The top down on this thing. Spiders are awesome, but don't go too fast. Anyway, so the first thing is don't get intimidated. You gotta stay cool. Every human is on the same path. No matter how powerful they are today, in 100 years, they'll be dead. Keep that in mind. No matter how beautiful somebody is, they won't be beautiful in 100 years. All of us are on the same path. And since we're all on the same, and I actually read an interesting book. I think it's by Mlodinow, the guy, the physicist from Caltech. And he said all humans are descended from 70 women. Genetically, humans are very close to each other. So don't get intimidated, because being intimidated and showing a lot of weakness to people will inevitably turn them off. No one wants to be around somebody who's desperate. So number two is don't be cocky. So sometimes people are either too shy and intimidated, or their flip side. You can't post up. One time I made a mistake. I had a billionaire guy, and it's the first Ferrari I ever had, not this one, another one. And I showed up at the airport and I was trying to act all cool, like I was, you know, can you press the start button? And by the way, I shouldn't talk too much. Probably nobody wants to hear from me. Ollie's a little bit shy, but you moved here from Kentucky.
I did.
You were Miss Kentucky.
I was Miss Kentucky 2013.
So she knows Donald Trump, if you're looking at the political race. But you didn't know anybody here, and you had to network. And
yeah, I came here all on my own, drove here, you know, across the country, and you just figure it out. You meet people, you network, and
you're not, she doesn't really you don't get intimidated. You're pretty cool under pressure.
Yeah.
She didn't even need this book. She didn't even need those $100 bills. She's a Capricorn, though. Capricorns always appreciate $100 bills, bookmarks. Anyway, so the number two thing, you know, when I rolled up on this guy in Ferrari at the airport, he was a billionaire. It didn't impress him. He was like, dude, he told me, he goes, I have a fleet of Ferraris. He's like, what'll impress me about you is you just showing me what you know, which leads to number three. You gotta know stuff. And a lot of people say, Ty, how can I, you know, be persuasive? How can I network? If you don't know shit, people are gonna figure it out. So the beauty is, no matter where you are in the world, you could be broke, like I was, broke, sleeping on a couch, 47 bucks in my bank account. You could be in the same situation, dead. Whatever it is, you could still know a lot of stuff, because you can pick up a book. You can go on YouTube now. You can start to become knowledgeable, and you don't have to be knowledgeable about everything. Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, says just have a circle of competence. Just keep your knowledge in a tight circle and you'll impress people. So there's a lot more things. Check out the book. You've never read it before, right?
I haven't.
So
I'm gonna read it.
She's gonna read it. And along with that, that's a badass coffee table book. If you never heard the story, I used to own a lot of nightclubs. So this is like the original nightclub, Studio 54. By the way, check out this shirt somebody made for me. The Good Life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. And it's got my website. Somebody mailed this. So whoever mailed this to me, thank you for the present. And you want to hold the camera while I drive for a second? can't go too fast. There's a lot of people on Sunset. All right, that's how fast you could go. People always are like, dude, why don't you go fast in these videos? I'm like, it's Hollywood, guys. You see, Phil, turn the camera around. That's about how fast you can go. So, anyway, here, you can hold it again. So here's a question for you. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this big contest. I'm gonna give away a car this year, okay, to the winner. It's not gonna be a Ferrari 458 Spider, but I'm gonna give away a car, and I'm giving stuff away every Friday. I have this little thing called Invest in Others. I believe people helped me when I was starting out. They didn't always help me with contests or money, but they gave some time. My mentors taught me what they knew, and so I believe in investing back in other people. So I'm doing this thing. So subscribe here, wherever you're watching this. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm just gonna pick randomly from the subscribers every Friday, and I'm doing some flash contest stuffs too. And at the end of the year, I'm gonna pick somebody. So give them a car. Okay, so anyway, subscribe. By the way, what's the number one thing you ever learned about people, dealing with people?
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Old school, golden rule. Can't beat that. All right, guys, peace out.
Now, I was hoping to make a couple more videos and finish off my series on rape, but I realized that this is going to be a topic that I'm not going to just finish with anytime soon. And, you know, I keep wanting them to be perfect, but if I hold myself to that, I'm going to never make, I'm going to not be putting out much content. So, just take it that, you know, that was my kind of introduction to my thoughts on rape, and this is a big topic for me, in dealing with women and the human nature and whatnot, the female nature. And I'll be revisiting that topic throughout the development of this channel. But I wanted to make a video quick. Yesterday, I was just hanging out downtown, and there's always, you know, a lot of musicians around downtown just playing guitar. Some of them are busking. That's where you know, try to make some money with, you know, have your guitar case out and just playing a song or whatever. And there's this one dude, I kind of thought I recognized him. He seemed like a pretty cool dude, and he was playing guitar and singing, outside of a coffee shop I was at. And, this always seems to pull in chicks. You know, a dude with a guitar singing, or even just guitar playing. People walk by through downtown, and sure enough, this girl stopped by and just sat, just watching him. You know, just kind of like always enamored. You know what I mean, with this dude playing, and you know, he tries to act all cool after the song. You know, she just asked him. She's like, "Oh wow, what is that a song, or is that an original, or is that, you know, a song of a band?" You know, and he says, he's like, yeah, just goofing around, just, you know, some, you know, it's so fucking annoying. Come on, dude, what a douche. You know, or when people ask, like, oh yeah, how many years have you had lessons? Be like, I'm self-taught. You know what I mean? It's nothing, it's just something I'm playing around with, you know. You know, and that is the correct thing to say if you want to, you know, get in a girl's panties. Girls don't like it if you have actually had to work to become what you are. They want it to just be something natural. So people downplay stuff like that, and it's just so phony. It just like is like nails on a chalkboard to me. But I understand why you should do it. But, you know, it kind of feels like lowering myself to do that. It's so phony, and I consider that such a cardinal sin, and just something to be so disrespected. You know what I mean? Someone who just something I bounce, you know, just something I'm messing around with. But why is it this way? And why are girls so enamored with, you know, a guy playing a guitar and singing? But the other way around, you know, if there's a girl playing guitar and singing, it doesn't work that way for her. There aren't guys that are going to stop and be like, oh my gosh, I mean, sure, there'll be some people that listen if she's really good, for entertainment, but it's not the same way as when, a dude's playing guitar and singing. Girls just, 9 out of 10 guys don't give a fuck if a girl can sing, or play a musical instrument. I, on the other hand, am really different, and this is kind of the meat of this video. When I was in high school, there was this girl named Lindsay who was my show choir partner, and she was really big into music theater and all that stuff, and she was a good friend of mine, and she was kind of nerdy, kind of like I said, like kind of a music theater nerd, and I was pretty popular in high school. I was definitely a party animal, and did a lot of sports and stuff like that, and but she was a good friend of mine. She was a really sweet girl. But one thing that I always thought was cool about her, she was one of the best singers in our grade. And like I said, I was friends with her, and I had a piano at my house, and she'd come over and hang out, and she'd just play the piano and sing, and I would just love it. I could just kind of sit there for hours just listening to her and stuff. And like I said, I wasn't really interested in her romantically at the time, because she was kind of a nerd, and I was just chasing, a lot more whatever bleach blonde pussy and whatnot. But after high school, so many things have changed for me or whatever, and things have changed for her as well. She ended up kind of really becoming a rebel, doing a lot of drugs and partying and stuff, and still pursuing kind of music theater in her own way. She's done a couple different things and whatnot, but the guys that she's dated now, that she's kind of come out of her shell, obviously not a single one of them gives a fuck, that she is this amazing singer, or that she's, this amazing, actor, that she's been doing this music theater stuff like her whole life, and that she still does, don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean? But this is her passion, but she doesn't give a shit if a guy, gives a shit about that. You know what I mean? And that's how girls in general are. You find a girl that's really passionate about something like that, like be it her music or whatever, and the guys she dates have absolutely no interest in it whatsoever. They're not proud of her, they don't believe in her, they don't think it's really cool. They're just like the whatever alpha dog, dicks or whatever. And it just seems so kind of masochistic of these girls. It seems like kind of the obvious thing. Oh yeah, sure. The other thing I didn't say was, like, after high school, she got a little hotter, and I started to pay attention to her more, and I thought, now maybe I'd give her a chance after all these years. She, kind of dates these assholes or whatever, that have no interest in her, her dreams or her skills or, her music or whatever. But whereas I, not only have interest in that, and believe in her and, really dig it, I even know, kind of like her history of it and some other, musicals she starred in, in her younger years and everything. So you would have thought that, it would be just something so important to her. But it's not, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the way it is for all girls. Girls that have this really cool passion of theirs or whatever, they date these guys that could not give a fuck less. And it's just kind of weird. I don't know if any of that makes sense to you. Please leave some comments about, kind of this little phenomenon. Give some of your little input. If nothing else, just to let me know that you actually stick around and watch the full 6 minutes, or 7 minutes. Alright, stay classy, man. I'll talk to you soon.